Welcome to WCS America's Winter Edition. We are moving into our lower bracket match, as we've got two Chinese players duking it out to see who is going to be able to move on to that round robin. My name is Fear Dragon. I am joined here by Nathanius.
That's right.
And this is going to be our third PvT, soon to be followed up by our fourth PvT today. Do you think we can get all Protoss versus Terran in Americas?
Is that... It is possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing if that's going to happen. These two players, of course, both from China. You would think that they've played each other a bunch of times because the Chinese scene for StarCraft oftentimes very insulated. Funny enough, we haven't actually seen these guys play against each other very often. The last time they played was back in 2017. They played twice back then. Coffee ended up taking both of those series 2-0. But Coffee has been inactive from the StarCraft tournament scene for about a year and a half, and this is kind of his big triumphant return in 2019. He hasn't had many chances to actually play versus Firefly. I don't actually know if that old record is going to hold true anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're Coffee, you just got to stick to your guns, right? I like watching him play. I feel like he does a lot of good stuff. The series against Probe was questionable, but to me, this is a group where I feel like Masa probably beats Probe, and then Coffee goes up against Probe, and we get ourselves a good finish to Group B for Bonanza. But we are loaded in, ready to kick off this this best of three here in the elimination round of Group B. In the bottom right, we have the blue Protoss player. He is Firefly.
And up at the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the red Terran player. His name is Coffee.
Man, you and Zombie Grub were hating on Coffee way too much that last series. Insane bias. I can't believe it, Fear Dragon. As commentators, you really need to be able to...
Amazing. I can't believe the commentators weren't giving a little more credit to Coffee and his chances of being able to come back in a game that he was down 4 upgrades and down 100 supply.
No. You guys were talking bad about my favorite beverage.
Oh.
Absolutely ridiculous. Of course you can't win down 4 upgrades.
When did I speak poorly of Coffee?
You guys both said you don't like it. Something about addictions. Look, I only get...
Oh, that's fair.
I only get the worst headaches.
I read a study
on a regular basis
that Coffee, after about a month of consistent coffee consumption, you no longer have a heightened state of alertness or ability to perform mental tasks. And you need coffee in order to reach your original peak state.
Yeah.
So it's only useful for the first month.
So what? So what? Huh? What are you trying to say?
I am with you on a hot beverage in the morning. I do enjoy tea.
Okay, tea's pretty good. Tea has caffeine in it too, Fear Dragon?
Some of the tea does. Not all of it. Actually, I like the boba. When I get my boba, or bubble tea, I get green tea.
Does green tea not have caffeine?
I don't think it has caffeine.
Is it just black tea that has caffeine?
I don't know. You're making me question the nature of tea.
Yeah. We're going to find out that you're actually addicted to coffee, too. You just don't realize it.
I've been drinking coffee this whole time.
He never realized he's been a caffeine addict.
Reaper is going to make its way in here rather early, and the Stalker is just a tad bit late, so it will eventually... I mean, not late in the normal sense.
Well, the Reaper doesn't get any probe kills, so I think if you're Protoss, it's like a nothing ventured scenario. Like, you're happy. It's all good.
Apparently, green tea contains a small amount of caffeine.
There
Much less than coffee, though.
You're an addict just like me, Fear Dragon.
I'm just a lower rate addiction.
The last time I went a week without coffee was actually bring it back to StarCraft. was WCS. This was,
oh my God!
When
I've never seen you so angry.
When we did IEM Pyeongchang, it was really terrible. It was really bad.
No! I thought you were talking about the Challenger. There was one day of Challenger, guys. Nate
I did have a Challenger.
Oh my God!
I
have seen Nate get all in by Protoss players for like 10 games in a row, and he was not even 10% as angry as he was that one day.
The coffee machine wasn't working the one morning. It was terrible. What was I supposed to do?
It was working, but you thought that you thought it was working, but you thought someone kept taking your coffee because you keep putting it out there, pressing the button, and you would come back and there was nothing there.
Someone was keeping the place clean, and I didn't. It was bad. All right.
I enjoyed it.
It's okay. I'm not a monster like Zombie Grub. I take my coffee black because I enjoy the taste of coffee. Why else? Why wouldn't you? There's so many ways to get caffeine. If you don't like the taste of coffee, there are other ways to get your caffeine. I'm just saying.
Like tea, like green tea.
Filling it with calories.
The Reaper, by the way, it's been able to stay alive, but it hasn't actually been able to get into the main base to get the scout, and it is going to finally do one last run. Gets the money scout on. Wow, it's the absolute unbelievable standard for PvT.
I cannot believe it. Protoss going for blink this fast? What? Is this map heavy rain? Haha.
That was a reference that some people will get.
Yeah.
That was a good map.
Press X to Jason. So it looks like it's going to... Okay, well, he's not going to mine drop. He actually can't do anything because he's about to have stalkers.
He's supply block for a little bit. These siege tanks getting delayed an extra 7
Why did you talk about Nathanius' stream? Now supply blocks are doomed. This is it, man.
Oh, Widowmine?
Brought to you by the Depot Gang. Wow.
Doesn't have Blink in time to deal with that Widowmine. It's going to be able to maybe get some damage done to that medevac. Doesn't quite get the snipe off. The Okay, that was interesting. Blink.
Gotta be careful. All right, you know what? He's almost made up for the stalker that he just kind of threw away.
Yeah,
he gets the medevac. He gets the medevac without losing another stalker.
That's a
like,
kill.
Oh, okay, that's...
Now these stalkers are somewhat trapped. They can blink down over here.
He saved that red one. Oh goodness.
Well done.
That was quite impressive.
And gonna continue to pick away at these Marines. The Liberator unsieges.
The siege tank's turret turned halfway towards the stalkers before they blinked.
Get out of here. Third base on the way.
Oh, okay. Now he's doing the build, right? Double forge, charge follow-up, the fast third nexus, probes around the world, and a lot of gateway units.
Okay. Yep. No fourth gas geyser. This is definitely going to be a very, very big macro play in the sense that he's going to be getting up a lot of these bases and getting up those double upgrades, like you said. Liberator comes on in, and we'll see if the stalkers are going to keep him a little too occupied.
He's microing the stalkers. He doesn't know. Liberator's coming. And there we go. The probes are going to start to hit the floor. We still have that tank pushing across the map. And 4 probes are picked off, but we'll need to use a defensive warp. And you know, Fear Dragon, charge is not ready yet. 1-1 is not ready yet. This is the absolute prime time. This is the ripe moment to pluck the peach that is this third base of Firefly, and Coffee is going in on it.
There is almost nothing here right now for Firefly. He is just losing the hit points on this Nexus. I think he's just gonna have to give it up. That's it.
That's a really sick pick off there. Just a little bit distracted, it seemed. Firefly doing his harass, putting himself into a kind of awkward spot. Coffee's going to keep moving forward. There is an expiration timer, by the way.
I feel like the expiration timer's already hit.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Charge and 1-1 are about done.
Oh, boy.
Well, thank you for at least giving me these units. It actually kills a lot of the stalkers.
These stalkers are getting focus fired down by the siege tanks because the zealots were in the back for so long. That was not as clean of a cleanup as it could have been.
Firefly should have mopped that up without losing anything.
And it could have been a maybe opportunity there for Firefly to just go across the map and also do some denial of the third. Oh, the third base is just now starting for Coffee, though. I thought he actually was going to start that during the midst of that attack, but getting it started this late on, sure he's going to have combat shields and gusset shells, but he lost a lot of the medevacs as well. I don't know if you can put that much pressure on.
Yeah, the advantage for Firefly has to be he needs to just focus on the upgrades. I don't know. I don't like that he's getting +2 attack. I feel like you should always prioritize armor upgrades versus Terran, since they have a much bigger impact in the fights when you're dealing with like the zealots and how much they can tank. But I'm sure he'll start +2 armor soon. It's very important.
Yeah, usually when I see a Protoss player prioritizing the weapon upgrades, I'm like, okay, you're gonna maybe add on a Robo Bay and go for Colossus,
or
but
he's
no.
gonna plan on all-inning soon when he like gets this third base kind of mining again. I don't know.
That's also a possibility. This will be a weird position to all into, where he's going to be up against still a handful of these siege tanks, but also a good number of Widow Mines. Very, very control-oriented. But third base, finishing on up. The probes mostly did stay alive during that attack as well.
Yeah, he got him out of there, so it's not like he's way behind on workers. He is behind. Actually, 12 workers. You know what? He's way behind on workers. This is a really good spot to be in for Coffee. The only thing that's holding Coffee back is he has to wait that extra. Command centers take 30 seconds longer to build than the other ones. Fear Dragon.
Do they all take the exact same amount of time to build?
Yeah. Yes, they do. Except, obviously, the orbital command, you have to pay extra to finish it, and then it takes another 21 seconds to turn into the orbital.
I got nothing. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Your tears are delicious. Temple Archives.
Stating facts.
Yeah. Temple Archives is on the way, about halfway finished up. That's going to be the big thing that he needs to transition away from just pure Forge upgrades and lots of gateways into the good old high-tech units that will do this big splash damage he wants. Coffee is making his way across the map, though, and the Warp Prism going to be hitting that third base at the perfect time in a lot of ways.
Yeah, this is nice. Like, Warp Prism play is a great way to try to get yourself back in the game.
Zealots actually.
There's still so many Widow Mines here. Like, I don't know that he can actually hold this. And if he had gone for armor upgrade earlier, he would have it by now, but he doesn't. And oh god, those.
Bye-bye Zealots.
Okay, well, the next wave of Zealots is going to come in. Okay, so the mines don't have any more shots, and there is enough Protoss here to dive on top of the rest of it. Still feel like +2 armor would have helped.
Yeah, some Zealots doing some nice damage inside the main base and maybe getting a tech lab or so, but I will, as a Terran player, take a tech lab in exchange for, you know, all of the rest of your army and potentially the third base.
Yeah. +2 armor's finally done now that all the Zealots are dead.
Yeah, well, they are still buying
surprisingly
they're
close.
working in.
Surprisingly close to holding this, by the way. Now the probes are going to come out.
Oh, nice micro there, picking up some of the one that we can just doesn't drop it back out. There we go.
Turned into micro challenge.
But yeah, killing off 10 workers is really nice. A stalker.
He just killed his own stalker actually there too. All of his stalkers shot at that one.
Well, that micro challenge didn't go as well. Oh, we got the reinforcements coming forward. Oh, that was not the flick you wanted to do.
Oh goodness. My brain goes immediately to that In Control clip that got posted on Reddit the other day again about patience. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I did see that. That was
Saber
not exactly
Tiger? Let's go.
71 army supply versus 20. Firefly is knocking his heart out, but it is going to be game, and Coffee takes the first one.
Brutal. Savage.
Wrecked. Indeed. And that does put us in a situation where Coffee has still not dropped a map to Firefly in a tournament. We'll see if he can close this out 2-0 as he has in the past. Again,
Coffee
it was a while ago.
Good. Coffee's TVP looks good. I liked it. I liked what I saw. You can obviously tell players have a little bit less latency. The micro improved a lot for both.
Playing on the Asia server.
Yeah, playing on Asia, which still has a decent bit of latency from China, but nowhere near as much as, obviously, servers that are an extra 2,000 miles away.
Yeah, it turns out we don't actually have a way to communicate internet speed faster than the speed of light just yet.
In a hypothetical scenario where we could do that, you'd have a theoretical potential of like 35 milliseconds of ping from here to Australia.
That's pretty close. We should just lump them with Americas.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you know, at some point there's just going to make a giant crane that just picks Australia up and just puts it between California and Hawaii. That's the plan, actually.
Would we need a crane? Wouldn't it be... That seems like a lot of effort to lift an entire continent. Why don't we just put like a bunch of... We get a bunch of people, all the people in Australia to like doggy pedal the backside of Australia through the water over toward America. That's what made you laugh? After a crane suggestion for Australia? Okay, let's get this game going.
yeah, let's get this next game.
Again, this is an elimination match, guys. So Firefly being down to 0-1 is a bit tough. This does mean he has to win these next 2 games in order to stay in WCS Winter. This is a big opportunity for him to kind of break out, but also same for Coffee. Both of these guys, I think, are not that well known outside of the Chinese StarCraft scene. So both of them probably looking to make a bit of a name for themselves.
I think Coffee's definitely made some fans. I've seen a lot of people talking about, you know, frappuccinos and lattes in the chat while you guys were doing that.
What coffee place would sponsor Coffee?
I don't know. Any coffee place.
Any coffee place?
Whatever coffee place offers the best deal. Coffee is not, he's not desperate for a sponsorship. He's only going to work with whoever he wants to.
That's fair.
And to be fair, that is probably some Chinese coffee place we've never heard of.
When's Nathaniel's coffee coming?
Ooh. No.
No?
Never.
Never?
No.
Okay.
Problem is people are too basic. They like to, they don't like, normal people, especially in America, don't like coffee, Fear Dragon. Americans like half a cup of milk and sugar and then like a third a cup of, a quarter a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Like a shot of espresso into a glass of milk.
I feel like I feel like I hit a point that I should just move on and not let you talk about coffee anymore. Starting up here at the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Protoss player. His name is Firefly.
The good life.
Oh no.
His opponent in the bottom right, the red Terran. He's Coffee. What can I say? The guy likes coffee. What are you gonna do about it?
What is Coughing's favorite drink?
I don't know.
Is it coffee? Coffee.
Fear Dragon. Out of professional respect, I'm not going to say what just came to my mind. But I want you to know that In Control would have said what came to my mind.
He would have.
He would have.
I have a few more weeks before I have to put up with
He's
that.
still in Antarctica, actually. I tuned into the Pylon show the other day. In Control was...
What is the ping there?
You know, the ping to Antarctica is actually not that bad. Kind of weird.
Is it really?
It's kind of weird, actually, how it works.
I guess we're far enough north in North America.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say. The magnetic poles of Earth actually pull signals to and from them faster. So you use a compass as a modem, and you can actually get really good ping from Antarctica to anywhere on Earth.
That's so cool. Magnets are such an amazing invention.
Magnets. How do they work?
No one knows. We do have a interestingly placed probe over here in the top right-hand corner, but he went for a Twilight Council.
Look at this earth-shattering revelation. He's open with the Twilight Council.
Yeah. I was thinking for a moment, maybe he lets the Reaper scout the Twilight Council, throws up a pylon, and goes for like a proxy Dark Shrine in the top right, makes it look like Blink Stalker, but goes for something else.
I do like DTs versus Terran. I actually think
it's great.
we saw somebody do that too. Didn't we have someone that used DTs to kind of slow down the tank push as well before? And I think it worked. Either that or it failed miserably. But if the Terran, because the Raven is not actually the most popular choice when it comes to doing the two base Marine tank attacks. So, and you usually only have the two orbitals, right? And if you pull SCVs, you're probably muling. So I've seen it. I feel like I have seen it somewhere, and it looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, when you go for, and this is specifically not just like DTs, but it's the charge lot DT attack that a lot of pros players sometimes do.
That meme build.
That one, you are praying that the Terran player goes for Marine tank. That build is made to dismantle Marine tank.
Yeah, well, the biggest reason why is because by that time, usually Terran will never have combat shields either. So when you blink the DTs,
one-shot those Marines.
All of them.
Oh, that is just the most wonderful feeling in the world.
It disgusts me. Disgusts me.
You know, like 8 or 9 DTs with blink, if they blink into a big Marine pack of about 20 or 30 Marines, the DTs win that, and about 7 or so DTs will probably survive. That's really one-sided.
It's terrifying, Fear Dragon.
That's what I live for. We do have Hallucinating Phoenix moving in and seeing, oh, okay, well, I see some siege tanks and Marines, but I don't see your army. So Stalkers move out to try and meet this army in the middle.
This mind drop. And he just still doesn't have blink. Please don't give up a Stalker. There you go. There you go.
Oh!
Oop, there
Nice
it
unburrow on the Widow Mine.
Oh my god.
And now
Those Stalkers are staying too close. My anxiety's going through the roof.
The rest of the siege tanks and the SCVs are coming here too, so these Stalkers stick around for a little too long. Blink is not going to be done yet. Oh no. Okay. Gets out of there in time.
Okay, so the Marine tank push is here. Outside the base, sieging up. There's the Widow Mine. It does get picked up.
Whoa!
The Stalkers blink straight onto the siege tank, and you know that gets rid of the siege potential. But a few of the Stalkers do go down. You do want to be careful with those.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would be the dream.
Who
Stalkers?
Oh, the other three on the top could have maybe gotten that.
That is.
He could still.
That's a safe space, right? Actually, if you leave 2 Stalkers on either side, I don't know that the medevac can get out anymore.
Yeah, but do you really want to do that? I think 1 Stalker on each side could do it, because I think it's 2 hits away. No.
Okay. Well, there is not a whole lot over here, and this is a bit worrying because, yes, sure.
Into the main.
Exactly.
He doesn't have an observer, though, right? He has no high ground.
He had a sentry, so he could hallucinate a Phoenix.
Yeah. Is it still alive?
No, it's out of energy. It used a force field, I guess, or something. Oh, no, there it is. There it is.
There it is. Hallucinated Phoenix.
That siege tank does have some SCVs there, but is a little too late.
Needs to be careful, though, with these blinks. Because
40 is blink.
Only so much distance
escape.
he can cover.
Yep. And we end up seeing blink is off cooldown. You can start blinking down to that low ground. And loses the Hallucinating Phoenix, so loses that high ground vision. Stalker's getting some really nice value there, though. 8 workers as well as everything else. The Liberator.
Go by the Liberator.
Yep, and the medevac did manage to make it out alive thanks to the Liberator buying a little bit of space and time.
Saved me.
Yep, centering the soccer, not able to shut that down. But the third base is now finished up here for Firefly. And Coffee is in a bit of a weird spot because he's lost a handful of his siege tanks. He doesn't really have a lot of other ways to put on that pressure.
Oh, Lib, does he see it?
Oh, no.
Yep. It's a free liberator.
Saw it.
Could have been.
Does the Liberator see the soccer? Oh, it's not going to do anything anyways. There we go.
Ouch.
That's dead.
Goodbye.
Picking off Stalker over here as he tries to move forward to a place where he could establish a third if he had one. Not really thinking about it right now.
This is where I'd put my third. If I had one.
And he is just going for a second round of the push out. This, wait, is that Stim really late?
Stink. Yep. Oh yeah. I don't think he
He didn't get combat shield either.
I don't think he canceled Stim. I think it's actually just that late.
Wait, is that a mistake or is that intentional?
I don't.
The first push.
I don't know too many Terran players that don't research Stim.
Yeah.
They build Marines especially.
Okay, well he's got combat shields on the way at the same time as Stim. He's going to recall a bunch of these stalkers that were out on the map. And by a bunch, I mean 3. But I don't know. This is going to be a very close hold if he can make this work because charge is not done yet.
He needs charge.
Guardian shield is available. And that might be what he needs. It blinks on top of the siege tanks. Another stalker comes
Oh
from
wow.
far
That
behind.
base stalker is really good. Catch the medevac and beautiful force fields.
Oh, this is so solid. And now the Marines are trying to stutter step forward to get on top of the sentries, but they are not going to be able to find him.
Holy cannolis. Did he just hold this without losing
Firefly.
the Nexus?
That was really
Wow.
well done. And now he has 1-1 finished up versus only a halfway finished up +1 weapons with no +1 armor on the way just yet. Twilight Council's done, so he can start up those 2-2. And there it is, +2 weapons, just need +2
Get
armor.
the ammo. You missed it last game. That armor being 30 seconds later actually had a huge impact on his defense because all of his zealots died 20 seconds before it finished.
Gonna be able to get the bunker, maybe. There it is. Nice. And because Stim is so delayed, those stalkers are still able to be aggressive here. But Stim now finishing up, combat shields finishing up. The stalkers do have to be careful. A lot of them are already softened up, so if they stick around a little too long, they are going to turn into Protoss goo.
Yeah, they'll just get blown to pieces. Smithereens, if you will.
I kind of miss the Protoss Dragoons turning into actual goo in Brood War.
The Immortals kind of did that. They kind of do still, sometimes.
Do they? I'll have to pay more attention
There's
when
a
the Immortal
unit that
does.
blows up into goo. I'm pretty sure the Immortal does goo sometimes.
I'm actually blanking on it. I feel like I just see a bunch of robotics parts fly around.
Yeah, but I think it can be goo sometimes.
You know what? We got robotic Zerg skins. What about biological Protoss skins?
You want a fleshy Immortal? God. It's just so wrong on so many levels.
We call it the infested Protoss set.
No.
No?
Then it would at least be like an infested machine. But you're like, I just want a completely biological Immortal. How do you make a living thing that looks like that? Goodness. It's terrifying. What god would create that? No. Absolutely not. No.
I don't know. It's like a spider with 4 legs.
You know what? Leave the role of spiders to spiders, okay? At least spiders are good.
Whoop! Snipes off the medevac with 2 of those Widow Mines, I think.
Yeah, those
inside of it.
stalkers have been sharking around everywhere.
Firefly is playing really well this game.
This is now Protoss has been able to do what Protoss wants to do. We've got charge, we've got the upgrade lead, the big upgrade lead. I do not believe there's an armory. Nope. Armories are expensive, my dude.
Oh my god, this Widow Mine positioning is so
yeah,
dirty.
this hasn't been touched yet, but there's a part of this grassy area you can just like build stuff. You can put stuff in there. That's not actually like unpathable terrain.
Is it the sight blocker?
No, I don't even know. I don't even know what it is. I saw someone post on Reddit about how some guy built his proxy, gateway, dark shrine, and pylon under that brush.
That's amazing, and I'm gonna take that now.
Yeah, so that's a thing.
Well, the Widow Mines, at least most of them managed to survive for a little bit. Medevac does not survive very much longer, but the Widow Mines are
Shout out
safe.
to the Stalkers. Stalkers putting 5 on it, can style over here. This Terran player's getting bullied.
He's doing a good job just kind of predicting the angles that these medevacs are retreating from. These Stalkers, though, may end up seeing the end of their lives soon.
Wow, look at that. Smooth criminal, runs straight through. This guy's got speedrunner strategies here.
Okay, this is where we see 1-1 bio versus 2-2 Protoss. So the Widow Mines also detonating a bit on that bio. And even though most of the Zealots are gone, we're starting to see this bio have to retreat.
It's not even that bad because the Widow Mines hit the Zealots, but the Zealots are on the bio, like you said. So the Marines and Marauders take tons of damage from their own mines. And then you're down on upgrades, so you can't actually do a whole lot anyway. Those 2-2, even just 2-2 zealots, like these guys, the amount of APM required to not lose something with your whole army versus 4 zealots, you know?
Yeah, that's the magic of being up ahead that
Yes,
many upgrades.
the upgrades are the big thing. And guess what? 3-3 is over halfway done for your dragon.
Indeed. And at this point, we got a couple of High Templars being warped in. He doesn't have Storm, so he already has the Archons. These are just kind of padding to the army. The medevac should see this Archon ball. He's going to try and take a fight over here, but he is also running around the corner of a ramp, and that's going to start backfiring on him as a couple of these force fields knock down those bio units.
You know what Coffee desperately needs?
Caffeine.
Not a shot of espresso. No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say he needs, if he had gotten like a second factory really quickly and gone into like drilling claws, there's been very little, I think, in the way of like observers on the map. And I feel like drilling claw mines would have given him a much better angle. When you're down on upgrades, at least. Like liberators can be good, but the mines, you can build them. They build really fast. But look at this. We've got a bio army that is not stimmed anymore. It is all in yellow health. So, and the medevacs are all out of energy. So one more stim and this bio dies in like 1 or 2 hits to everything. Firefly is about to do the A move of the century, except he's a good player, so he's not even just going to A move. He's going to blink the stalkers, he's going to focus fire, and he is going to rip and tear like a chainsaw through a watermelon. GG. Firefly ties it up 1-1.
A chainsaw through a watermelon. That sounds messy.
Yes, very, very messy.
Well, at the end of that game, I would say Firefly definitely had some clean play and was doing really, really well, just shutting Coffee down. Every single drop attempt, every single attempt from Coffee to try and come back in that game was completely disabled. And we end up seeing a situation where Firefly has been able to take his first competitive tournament game off of Coffee. Again, it's not a whole lot of games played against each other, but it is still a bit meaningful in how well I think Firefly was able to just shut down Coffee in that last game.
Yeah. Well, you could say he really made him feel like a decaf that game, you know. Anyway, big difference. The Stalker micro was really good. He didn't get caught in the same way in the corner of the map with his Blink Stalkers either, which was really important. I think back to that recall where then he's trying to defend with 3 Stalkers, and that's where things kind of snowball out of control for him.
Yeah, but the Siege Tank Marine push that was at the front door when he was at his natural, and it was sieging up over there, I really have to hand it to him. I thought he did a really excellent job, like you were saying, with that Stalker micro. Handling, like the blink onto the tanks, maneuvering around the Marines, maybe Coffee getting a bit too overeager.
And that is so much easier to do when you don't bleed out the early Stalkers, right? On the Kairos Junction game, he lost the Stalker to the mine at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And then getting caught in the corner and having to recall out to get back, it's like, well, he can't really make that same type of play. And you even mentioned this where it's like, well, he blinks onto the tank, but he can't even one-shot it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of being a little bit more careful with his Stalkers at the start of that second game. To me, is the reason why he won, because he did everything else the same way in the first game, except he just took too much damage from the tank push because he lost a bunch of Stalkers in the early game.
StarCraft, a game that the early game absolutely has a pretty significant impact on what tools you have available to you. We'll see if this guy down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map is going to be able to disable some of his opponent's tools in the earlier stage of the game. His name is Coffee.
And his opponent in the northwest corner, Port Alexander, the blue Protoss player, he is Firefly. What are your thoughts on Firefly, Sphere Dragon? Have you
I really like
seen
the show.
one?
I have seen
Not
the show.
Damn it.
I've seen more than one.
Have you ever seen a real Firefly?
I have seen a real Firefly. Are they not common?
Oh, I was going to say, they're all over. I've seen a bajillion of them in the northeast. It's normal. Very pretty, actually, when they're all flying around.
Actually, another more think about it, I don't think I've actually seen any on the West Coast. Where have I seen them?
I mean, in Southern California, nothing can really survive other than people who can afford air conditioning. But
yeah. My mouse sensitivity just jumped down like 8 degrees somehow.
Nice. I'm sure no one will feel bad if you mess up your observing terribly. Hey, guess what? It's the build. This is the more common, popular, aggressive Protoss build. I'm very surprised he's doing this because his regular game plan seemed to be working really well. But he seems to be under the presumption that our Terran player is going to do a Reaper expand, and this is the double gateway, one proxy gate build. Honestly, no matter how many times I scout this, or whatever I try to do, I die 100% of the time to this.
So I won't ask you how to defend this then.
Well, I'll tell you, in GSL, Maru has been SCV scouting very intelligently. And when he SCV scouts it, he builds the command center on the high ground, which is already great that Coffee did this blindly. But he also puts the bunker on top of the main base ramp, and then you kind of just rush to a tank because it's the best thing. The problem with this build is if you underestimate it, it is extremely easy for the Protoss to follow up with tons of units because the warp gate buff, right? That extra 14 seconds is like a whole, that actually is a whole production cycle of Terran ahead that they can get out their next wave of units to push you.
This definitely gets scary. Did Coffee do the high ground command center because there was no probe scout? Because the probe is just busy waiting there for the pylon to finish up so it can throw down the next gateway and stuff. So I wonder if that's actually what set him off. But here we go. Stalker and the Zealot making its way forward. There's only a single Marine. He's focused firing down these SCV, trying to build a bunker. Gets one of the SCVs. The Zealot works away at that reactor. But as soon as it finishes, it can be repaired back up. And that's exactly what Coffee's going to be focusing on.
Yep, so putting in the contain here. And man, you know, I feel like one of the biggest strengths of these builds is you really mess the Terran economy up a ton. I would almost prefer to see an expand behind this. You don't see the shield battery follow up with this too often. Not even, I mean, I don't know. I play on NA and I don't even see the shield batteries with this. Usually the Protoss just cranks out Stalkers nonstop until you get tanks, and they've already expanded usually twice.
He's killing a lot of workers, though. This is, I feel like, kind of working. In the second shield batteries are going to finish up just in the nick of time.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just his follow-up economically, if it does get held, is a lot. It's a lot less
that is true.
Smooth.
There's a Stargate, proxy Stargate, or not proxy Stargate. Back at home.
Nice, nice.
The shield battery is finally out of energy, though, and the siege tank also finishes up just in time. So the Stalker is going to have a very difficult time doing a whole lot more. And really, I think that's all he wanted to do at this point. And I agree with you. Having an X is going to be very important for him.
If he had killed like 3 or 4 less SCVs, but had Nexus halfway done right now, I think that would have been much better.
So,
personally. But if that's how he likes to roll, I'm not qualified for this tournament, so I'm going to defer to the person who has qualified.
Yeah.
And is currently 1 map away from moving on in this group to the decider match.
Oracle on the way here for Firefly. This is going to be his follow-up. He did manage to snipe off a lot of SCVs. He didn't really kill any Marines, so the Marines are still going to be out in a decent number to handle the Oracle, as long as they are in position. But of course, they are just sitting on the reactor. It's not like he's going to have stim anywhere even close to finishing. He's not going to have an engineering bay and be able to throw down quick missile turrets.
I'm surprised he didn't go straight to Twilight. I guess I can see the value of the Oracle because you get some scouting. What?
Okay, I guess he has a sentry here to force field the ramp, but gonna hallucinate a Phoenix and scout?
See that cloaked Banshees are coming. Actually, then you put a Phoenix on patrol outside the base, and that's it. Banshee never does anything.
Yeah, he already has the Phoenix made. Getting up a second Phoenix as well. Is it going to go for a third?
You want to catch the Banshee closer to the Terran base because obviously with Cloak, it's going to be a pain and you don't want to have to use Revelation. If the Banshee cloaks at the Terran base, it will be more than out of energy when it reaches the Protoss system. And he sees it, sees the Banshee. You should see that it's going to the left.
Yep.
Phoenix should go on the hunt.
SCV is going down to the low ground. The Stalkers are going to try and be annoying, but there's no blink over here. They really do have to back up when that siege tank sieges.
Finally starts up the Twilight Council.
Oh, he is looking so hard for it right now, and I think he's going to go directly over it.
Oh my goodness.
This is the dream.
Well, that's
oh no, he went too far down to the
Banshee's
yeah.
The Phoenix.
Oh boy. They are pulling back, and there might be an intercept path right here. Does he notice? Does he notice?
No.
Oh no, he doesn't notice. He's busy with the Stalkers.
Now he has to use Revelation. Or he's gonna. Well,
he's
shield battery.
Theoretically, he was probably gonna have to use Revelation anyways.
Yeah, it'll take him a while to kill a bunch of probes because the shield battery does out DPS the Banshee. The Banshee will always do a little bit of real damage with every shot because it does more damage than the probe has shields, but
Oh,
Yeah,
he doesn't
then-
even have. Okay. No, there's.
He's like, no, I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting for you to run out of energy. I don't play them games. Look at that. He has resonating claves on the way. It's going to be a mass adept Phoenix build.
Bit of a throwback here. The Phoenix Adept style did cause Terrans a lot of problems. Coffee not going to be able to go for many drops.
This build was insane. I remember back in the day when Adepts...
Did you enjoy it at that time?
When Adepts... No, I didn't play the game back then.
Oh, boy.
When Adepts two-shot Marines, I'll never forget.
Oh.
I've never seen the European Terrans as salty as, like, Showtime and Drogo are literally just... You just, like, do the mass Adept, you shade onto the army.
Yeah, yeah.
The Adept shade had 9 vision, and then they two-shot everything. So it's like, well, there's really nothing you can do.
Yeah, those Adepts did cause Terrans a few problems here and there. Handling those, but this is still going to be a scary situation just because of how this game opened up. We do have a pretty scary looking army, and if it shades in over here, the Phoenix can lift up these tanks. They're going to go in for the lift ups pretty early on before the Adept shades finish, but the siege tanks are in the air for long enough. There's one siege tank on the high ground doing a lot of splash damage. This is... I don't actually know that this is working that well for Firefly.
2 tanks on the high ground, and the Phoenix now go get those ones, but there's another tank.
And most of the Phoenix died during that because they dove in a bit early. 16 workers go down, so that is the plus side.
Ton of SCVs.
And there's nothing to kill the Phoenix, so I guess the medevacs might end up dying here. One Phoenix does go down as 2 Marines pop out.
He's gonna go again. The
I guess that makes sense. The siege tanks are doing a lot of friendly fire.
He did just trade 3 Adepts for 2 tanks.
I would have loved if he had just shaded 2 Adepts for it, but it's a hard thing to call there.
Yeah. He did get the 2 tanks. That's okay. I mean, he's still reinforcing from the original proxy gate. He seems pretty committed to the all-in here. I say that, now he starts to pull back. Now he'll drop 3rd Nexus and 3 Forges.
Because you've said that.
Because I said that.
No, he is still warping in more Adepts. I think he's ready to go in one more time. I like the wall off here from Coffee. Prevent those shades from easily getting in. If they shade from too far back, and like they just did, they're going to have to walk all the way around the mineral line. And the Zealots, the Stalkers, going to have a hard time getting through.
And he doesn't care. He's just going in. Another tank goes down. The Adepts hitting the Marines. Got to be careful. I feel like really splitting those Adepts is also really important against the tanks. Phoenix is dead. Siege tanks on the high ground are still laying waste. Coffee is very far behind on workers. I mean, he's practically on 1 base economy with the way that he's been forced to play this one. That siege tank should do a little bit more. And this Adept Shade's like, do I go in? Do I go in?
Yeah, gonna back off for now. It's funny because Firefly is still
third base.
Firefly does not have a transition. Exactly, he doesn't have a third base.
Start third and
doesn't have his 3rd and 4th gas guys.
Actually,
doesn't have
start
any
charge.
tech.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
I like.
I was gonna say maybe blink, but then I'm like, you know what? Charge is for the counterattack. You need charge.
Okay. Thank God he did not let those
baited
shades
the
finish.
stim.
Wow, that is really nice.
Actually, if he had let a shade finish, like on that hex between the 2 mules on top of the tank, that could have potentially been a pretty sick trade.
Yeah, could have. The medevac, by the way, is the only medevac out right now. The starport is on a reactor, but his economy is so bad that he's having a hard time. Oh, this is cute. Starts an engineering, but he's blocking his gas guys, so I assume he wants to cancel and maybe at least build a little higher or something.
I mean, I like this. You're playing against the Adepts. You don't want him to shade in, man. It's just Coffee throwing up a great wall over there. I don't dislike it at all.
Well, the SCV, I think, did get a scout to see that there was no 3rd base right now, and does not see charge since that's only about halfway finished up. But the 3rd base could be more of a 4th base.
You don't know that I've expanded, so you're going to turtle even harder.
I like it, playing smart.
200 IQ 3rd base is what it is. And then it won't be close enough to reinforce, but it gets attacked.
Coffee is starting to feel that there is not a lot of pressure coming his way anymore. So he's feeling comfortable sending out a medevac. And funny enough, Nate, most of the medevacs have been moving through the south side of the Banshees. And it is likely going to be running straight into that base.
He will have the pylon. Fun fact, pylons warp in faster.
At north!
Even if the Nexus isn't done. And yeah, he may not actually go by it, I guess. That would be most unfortunate now that he has nothing to defend here.
Oh my god, he's going to see a probe! Steps up.
Oh.
The giveaway probe pays for its life. But
He has another pylon. He could warp in here if he really wanted to.
I don't know if he could warp in enough units to actually deal with this right now, right? He doesn't have that many Oh, yeah, he's got 8 gateways. What am I talking about?
He doesn't have enough money. I think he's just bringing everything back from the other side of the map. He should be able to save the Nexus. Yeah, he's fine. There's no blink, though, so...
That is going to take a while. as Blink is just now starting up. Another 2 medevacs loading on up. A third medevac loading up. Zealot is not really scouting out a whole lot over here, and we're going to see him try and go after that base.
So this is what I was talking about, by the way, when I'm like, yeah, the third base is nice, but at some point it's also going to be harder to defend. So he's going to be really stretched thin here. We've got that 1 medevac going up. We got 3 medevacs going over to that bottom base.
So it's going to be 1 medevac going to the main. These Marines stim over into the natural, where they are going to be greeted by a lot of units. And then the 3 medevacs going into the third. He mistimes that one a little bit. The Widowmine's not getting any unloads over in the main. This is where he's hoping to get some damage done, but look at this. He's already meeting a huge number of Zealots.
He's got Storm. He just needs a little bit of energy.
He's got also feedback.
Actually, he has 3 Storms available over here, so.
Okay, the drop actually from the natural goes back to the third base, but does not get the damage he wants. He does get the Nexus down past the shields a little bit, but that's it.
Yeah, still has 3 Storms, I think, or 2 Storms right now. No, he's got 3. Yeah. So he has enough Psy Storms to fight against this, even without crazy upgrade lead, and he's going to start spamming out them Zealots that we know he loves to do. Oh, really lucky he didn't retarget that into center mass.
Yeah. Only 3 Zealots getting softened up. We got more Adepts getting ready to shade forward.
This is hard to break, though. Widow Mines plus Liberators equals pain. Fear Dragon. Pain.
Well, Blake is about to finish up here. That's going to help out a good bit versus Liberators. The Adepts getting some worker damage done, and we end up seeing Coffee trying to move forward. A lot of the Widow Mines softened up already. They're going to start popping.
Good Storms, actually. Good Storms. He's doing it, as you just said, softening this up, and he's going to charge in now. Head strong into the Terran army. The Siege Tank's getting picked off. The Stalkers get rid of those Liberators, and everything else is going to start chasing down the bio. Everything's at red hit points. That one Widow Mine is going to be able to fire against a single Zealot, and the Stalkers are going to continue to chase forward. The medevacs are so low, he wants to try and protect his tech units, his support units, but he's not going to be able to. The Stalkers are going to continue to blink forward, gets another medevac, and he can get the rest of these Marines with 14 SCVs dead. I don't understand how Coffee is supposed to hold the next attack. Yeah, Coffee is in a very dire situation. He is sitting down about 40 or 50 supply. His medevacs are softened up. He's going to try and repair those back up. I don't know that Firefly has to actually give him the time to get that back into position. He is going to be backing up, as I guess he saw the Liberator making his way across the map with the Zealots. But to be entirely honest with Nate, I think he might be able to end the game right here. Yep. I think this might be the time you put the nail in the board and you just smack it with that hammer and it's in. You're good. He's going to go for +1 armor. He's pulling all the way back. He's taking his 4th base at the 3rd. His Nexus had so much energy. Is he using your chrono? Using your chrono, son? Come on. He's saving for recalls. Oh, what? No. No, not at all. No. Maybe he plays with damaged health bars and he wants the health bar to disappear. The energy bar goes away if it hits max. It is information overload, Nate. Yeah. So this is one of the reasons why it's sometimes a bit dangerous if you don't end the game quite as quickly as you could, because you do give your opponent more chances to do things like this, where the army is out of position. He's going to be thankful he does have some energy on this Nexus to recall. Doesn't get too much, gets maybe like a pylon or a couple of probes, backs out of there. But now recall is going to be on cooldown. If Coffee can find another situation like that, he might be able to get more damage done. Yeah. Also keep in mind, of course, with the feedback change after the last ginormous patch, you're not guaranteed kills by feedbacking these medevacs with full energy either. In fact, I don't think you can kill them. Not with just feedback. Yeah, you need to do some other damage than just feedback. Well, decent chunk of the bio is sniped off of there. That's maybe 25% of the drop picked off, and we still got some High Templars and Zealots, and all of these units still sit in the main base. The 4th base location, or I'm just going to call it the bottom left at this point, is going to be under fire, but there's plenty of Protoss here to defend, and there should be plenty of Protoss over here to defend as well. Yeah, I like what you brought up, though, Fear Dragon. Coffee has been given a chance to make this game just insanely frustrating. As more and more pressure continues to get applied to Firefly, he's really trying to like scrap this game back. I mean, if he wins this, I would put it on like the equivalent of, okay, he's gonna GG out. I was gonna say, are we heading towards MVP versus Tefl levels of throw? Oh Lord, coming back from 0 workers, yeah. Thankfully for Firefly, that does not happen. He knocks out Coffee and advances on to the decider match, since that was the lower bracket match. It's just T the whole way down from here, ladies and gentlemen.
but it's a Protoss player. So it's not T. I'm sorry. No, but you're right. It is going to be another fun match, but we got more Protoss versus Terran headed our way.
Yeah.
As we take a look, we still got the winners match coming on up, and that is going to be, I believe, with Masa and Probe, our Canadian Terran facing off versus our Australian Protoss player who's currently in Southern California. And after that, the loser of that match is going to be moving down to face off versus Firefly in another elimination match. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere, because our next match is going to be a fun one. Masa versus Probe.